They mocked the janitor until he bought the company. The man they didn't see. The quiet janitor. Benjamin Benson was a quiet man. He was in his late 60s. He wore old brown shoes, faded trousers, and a cap that had seen better days. Every morning at 5:30 a.m., he arrived at the tall glass building of Diamond Tech. He was the janitor. His job was simple. Sweep the floors, clean the bathrooms, empty the trash cans, and keep the building looking clean. No one ever really talked to Mr. Benson. People walked past him as if he wasn't there. Some even called him Ghost Man because of how silent and invisible he seemed. "Good morning," he'd say softly every day. But most people didn't reply. He always smiled. A kind, soft smile. But no one noticed or cared. The office people. Diamond Tech was a busy place. Young men and women dressed in suits and heels walked fast through the halls. They talked loudly about meetings, deals, and deadlines. They drank fancy coffee and carried shiny laptops. Some of them laughed at Mr. Benson. Why does he still work at that age? He probably has no family. He smells like old books and cleaning soap. The worst of them was a young intern named Peter. Peter had just joined the company. He wore expensive shirts and acted like a boss, even though he was only 22. One morning, Mr. Benson was mopping the floor near the elevator. Peter walked by, talking on his phone. "Move, old man," Peter snapped. "You almost touched my shoes." Mr. Benson looked up. "I'm sorry, sir," he said gently. "Didn't mean to." Peter rolled his eyes. "Don't talk to me. Just do your job." Others nearby chuckled. No one said anything. No one stood up for Mr. Benson. The new girl. But not everyone was unkind. There was a young woman named Grace. She had just joined the company as a receptionist. She noticed how people treated Mr. Benson. It made her heart hurt. One day, she saw him sitting alone during lunch, eating bread and water. She walked up to him. "Mr. Benson, right?" she asked kindly. He looked surprised. Yes, miss. I'm Grace. May I sit with you?" He smiled. "Of course." From that day on, Grace spoke to him every morning. "Good morning, Mr. Benson." "Good morning, Grace," he'd say with a twinkle in his eyes. She asked him about his life, where he lived, what he liked to do. He always answered simply, "I like books. I like silence. And I like watching people." She giggled. "You must see a lot." "Oh yes," he nodded. People show their true hearts when they think no one is looking. The laughing crowd. A week later, the company had a big staff meeting. All workers gathered in the main hall. Even Mr. Benson was there, standing quietly at the back with his mop. The CEO stood on stage. "Everyone, I have news. We are being bought. A man who once helped build this company is returning. He will be our new owner." Whispers filled the room. "Who is it? Will we lose our jobs? Is he rich?" The CEO continued, "The new owner will visit next week to meet you all." That same day, in the break room, Peter made jokes. "I hope the new owner isn't a cleaner like Benson." The others laughed. Mr. Benson heard, but he said nothing. He just swept the floor nearby. Peter saw him and laughed louder. "Maybe you're the new boss, Benson?" More laughter. Mr. Benson smiled, then whispered, "Maybe." Secrets in the past. At night, Mr. Benson returned to his small flat. It was clean and neat. On the wall was an old photo, 3 men shaking hands in front of a sign. Diamond Tech Founders, 1992. One of those men was Benson. He was young then, smiling brightly. He touched the photo gently. "I left because I had to," he said to himself. "But now I'm back." He opened a black briefcase. Inside were papers, shares, and legal documents. He looked through them slowly. "The deal is done," he whispered. "I own it again." He stared out the window at the city lights. "They'll know soon. But first, I want to see who they really are." The weekend surprise. That weekend, the company sent out a message. On Monday, we will welcome our new owner. All staff must attend a meeting at 9 a.m. sharp. The office buzzed with gossip. Grace asked Mr. Benson, "Are you coming to the meeting?" He smiled. "I wouldn't miss it." Peter smirked. "Why? You think the new owner wants to meet the janitor?" Grace frowned. "Peter, that's rude." He scoffed. "Whatever. People should know their place." Mr. Benson didn't reply. He just picked up his mop and walked away. The night before, that Sunday night, Mr. Benson wore something different. A sharp navy blue suit, polished black shoes, and no cap. He stood in front of a mirror. "I wonder if they'll recognize me," he said. He smiled, not the soft, quiet smile, but a proud one. The smile of a man who had built something with his hands, who had lost everything, then returned for it. He looked at a photo of a woman, his late wife. "For you, Rose. I didn't forget what they did to us, but I'll handle it the right way." He packed his briefcase, turned off the lights, and went to sleep. Lesson 1. Respect is not for the suit you wear, but the heart you carry. You never know who someone really is until life gives them a stage. Watch this video to the end and don't forget to share, like, comment and subscribe for more interesting stories like this. From Folktale Flame. The Truth in the Room. It was Monday morning. Everyone came early. The office was full by 8:30 a.m. People wore their best clothes. Some even put on perfume. The air was full of excitement and fear. "Do you think he's rich? I heard he's from America. Maybe he'll fire people." Grace sat quietly at her desk. She looked at the clock. 8:55 a.m. "Where's Mr. Benson?" she thought. He wasn't mopping the hall. He wasn't near the lobby. For the first time, he was missing. At exactly 9 a.m., the CEO stood on stage in the company hall. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, "please stand and welcome our new owner, Mr. Benjamin Benson." The room froze. "Wait, Benson, the janitor?" People turned to the door and saw him, but he wasn't wearing his old brown shoes. He walked in slowly, wearing a clean navy suit. His shoes were shiny. His face was serious. He looked strong, proud, important. Peter whispered, "No, no way." But Grace smiled wide. Her eyes filled with tears. Mr. Benson stood at the front. He took the microphone. His real story. "Good morning," he said. "I'm Benjamin Benson. But you knew me as the janitor." He looked across the room. So many eyes were on him. Some were shocked, some in shame. "Let me tell you something," he said. 30 years ago, I helped start this company. I was one of the 3 men who built it from nothing." People gasped. "We worked day and night. We had no investors, no big money, only ideas, dreams, and hard work." He paused. "But after 10 years, I had to leave. My wife was sick. She had cancer. She was all I had. I sold my shares and walked away to care for her until the end." The room was silent. "She died 5 years ago. After that, I decided to return, not as your boss, but as your janitor." Murmurs filled the room again. "Yes," he said, smiling. "I came back to see the company I helped build, to see how people treat those below them." The mirror of the heart. He turned to Peter. "You called me old man, told me to stay away from your shoes. You laughed when I cleaned your table." Peter looked down. His face turned red. Benson turned to others. "You whispered things, ignored me, threw trash at my feet. You judged me by my uniform." Then he turned to Grace. "But this young woman spoke to me like a human being. She saw me, not my clothes, not my job, but my heart." Grace's eyes watered. Mr. Benson stepped forward. "So today I return, not just to own the company, but to change it." He looked around slowly. "From today, kindness is company policy." The promotion. People clapped. But it wasn't loud. I was unsure. Slow. Mr. Benson raised his hand. I know some of you are shocked. Some of you feel shame. That's okay. We learn from it. Then he smiled. But it's not too late to become better. He called Grace to the stage. This woman is not just kind, she's smart. I read her records. Top of her class. Loyal. Honest. He turned to the room. Grace, I'd like to offer you a new position. Executive assistant to the CEO. She gasped. Me, sir? I don't know what to say. Say yes, he smiled. Yes, she cried, and the room clapped, this time louder. Peter's lesson. After the meeting, people crowded around Mr. Benson. Some tried to shake his hand. Others gave awkward smiles. Peter stayed far away. But Mr. Benson called him over. Peter, he said kindly. Come. Peter walked slowly, face pale. I'm sorry, he whispered. I didn't know. Mr. Benson raised a hand. I'm not angry, Peter. I was young once too. But understand this, you're not better because of your suit or title. You're only better when you treat people right. Peter nodded, ashamed. You may stay, Benson said. But I'll be watching your heart, not your skills. Peter bowed his head. Thank you. I'll do better. The cleaning team. That afternoon, Mr. Benson met with the janitors. They were surprised to see him in a suit. He smiled at them. Brothers and sisters, I was one of you. I know what it's like to be ignored. To work in silence. They nodded. Well, things are changing, he said. From now on, every worker is important. You will get better pay, clean uniforms, and your own staff room. They clapped. One old cleaner cried. No more hiding, he said. No more shame. You are part of this company's heart. Back in his office, Mr. Benson sat at the big desk once again. It had been over 20 years since he sat there last. He looked out the window. So much had changed. But some things hadn't, like how people judge others too quickly. He opened his drawer and placed it inside the old cleaning cloth he used. A reminder. Grace knocked gently. Sir, your next meeting is ready. He smiled. Just call me Mr. Benson. She laughed. Yes, Mr. Benson. Lesson 2. Power doesn't always look powerful. The strongest people are often those who stay kind, even when the world is unkind to them. Respect should never depend on a title. Every person matters. Cleaners, drivers, receptionists, everyone. Watch this video to the end and don't forget to share, like, comment and subscribe for more interesting stories like this. From Folktale Flame. A new way forward. A new morning. It had been 2 weeks since Mr. Benson took over as owner of Diamond Tech. But things were not the same anymore. For the first time in years, people said, good morning to the cleaners. They held doors open. They smiled at the security guards. Even Peter, who once mocked Benson, was helping the janitors carry boxes during a power cut. The office had a different feel now. Not just a place for business, but a place of kindness. Grace, now Benson's assistant, noticed it too. It's like the company is breathing fresh air, she said one morning. Mr. Benson smiled. That's what happens when people start seeing each other. The memo. One Monday morning, a company-wide memo was sent. Starting next month, every staff member, from cleaner to CEO, will take part in a new program called A Day in Their Shoes. Each person will spend 1 day in a role they've never done before. This is to build respect and understanding. The memo caused a stir. What? I have to clean the toilets. I don't want to be in the kitchen. But Mr. Benson stood firm. I was once judged because I held a mop, he said in a meeting. Now it's time we understand the hands that hold it. The program began. A day to remember. Peter was assigned to the cleaning crew for 1 day. He wore a green uniform and was handed a mop by one of the janitors. Come on, the janitor said. Let's see what you got. By noon, Peter was sweating. His back hurt. His hands were sore. Do you do this every day? He asked. 6 days a week. No matter how we feel, the janitor replied. Peter was quiet. Something in his heart changed. After the shift, he went to Mr. Benson. "I want to say sorry again," Peter said. "But more than that, I want to change." Mr. Benson nodded. "You already started." Grace's dream. One afternoon, Grace and Mr. Benson sat by the window. "You know," she said, "I always wanted to start a foundation. For girls like me, who didn't grow up rich, but had big dreams." Mr. Benson listened quietly. "I just never had the money or support to do it," she added. He turned to her. "How much do you need to begin?" Her eyes widened. "You mean?" He nodded. "I want to be your first donor." Grace cried. "Thank you, sir. You don't know what this means to me." "Oh, but I do," he said gently. "I once had a dream too, and someone helped me." New leaders. With Benson in charge, the company began promoting people based on character, not just degrees. A security guard named Moses, known for his wisdom and honesty, was made head of staff relations. A cleaner named Aisha, who had worked at the company for 12 years without a single complaint, was made facilities manager. "Finally," she said with tears, "someone sees us." The company grew stronger. Clients noticed the change. Profits increased. But more importantly, hearts changed. People worked not just for salary, but for pride. A full circle. One evening, Benson walked through the building. Lights were off, except for one room. He peeked in. It was Grace, still at her desk. "You work too hard," he said. She smiled. "I learned it from a janitor." They both laughed. He sat beside her. "I may not be here forever," he said. "One day I'll step down. But when I do, I want you to carry on the heart of this place." Grace looked at him, eyes serious. "I will. I promise." He nodded. "Then my work here is complete." They sat in silence, watching the night sky from the glass windows. The final meeting. Months later, Mr. Benson held one last company-wide meeting. He stood on the same stage. "Today, I resign as CEO. But I'm not leaving the company. I'll still be around, just not in the big chair." There were gasps. He turned to Grace. "From today, Grace is the new managing director." The room burst into applause. She came forward, speechless. Benson smiled. "This company doesn't just build technology. It now builds people. And she's the best one for that job." Legacy. In the lobby of the building, a new painting was placed beside the company logo. It showed a janitor with a mop in one hand and a crown in the other. Under it were the words, "True power begins with humility." Visitors stared at it in silence. Workers passed by with pride. Mr. Benson, now older and walking slower, would sometimes sit nearby and watch them. And he would smile, because he knew he had changed something forever. Moral Lessons 3. Never be ashamed of humble beginnings. The hands that sweep the floor may one day hold the keys to the building. Leadership is not about titles. It's about lifting others. A company, a home, a nation. They all grow stronger when everyone is seen, heard, and respected. If this story moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below. Have you ever been underestimated? Tell us your story. Like this video. Subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon so you never miss another inspiring story like this.